Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that pump on the Bitcoin chart. Guys, it has been a while. I am currently in a place without consistent internet access. I'm also on the job hunt, so I'm going to be away from the computer for more than usual. Okay, guys? I'm going to keep this short because, again, like I just can't upload videos. The bandwidth just isn't there at my current place. We do see this nice spike that has taken us above the Bollinger Band's midline. If we do throw on our EMAs, you can see that we are above the 200, the 300, the 21, the 9, and also the 4. So bullish, 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 guys. And of course, we're facing a little bit of resistance here with this 50 SMA, which we may get a little bit of a pullback and then perhaps even continuation to 30,000 or higher. Things are looking pretty okay. As I said, don't be perma bears. Guys, did you watch my last episode? What did I say? The 2-week is in control. Let's throw on the good old 2-week chart that we did map out for you last week. And guys, if we take a look at this, just to zoom in and just look at those key levels that the Alpha Commission had for you. We would have been back here or something, right? And then, of course, we did that pullback, which was a little bit nasty. We just based off of a double bottom, which is actually fairly bullish for a possible reversal with that buy wick right off of the neutral point of control. Wouldn't it have been nice to have that $25,750 level in advance, a week in advance? Alpha fam, you had the key level a week in advance. And so, of course, we were sinking in the momentum pool. We caught on that neutral point of control. We pumped up to the volatility pivot right there at 26,900. And Alpha fam, look what happened when we caught 26,900. What do I say about the volatility pivot? You get above that volatility pivot, and if there's any random volatility in the market, that thing could send you flying in whichever direction you are above or below it. We were above it, and we got sent flying. Where did we get flying to? Right to my hold current momentum level. You guys can go check the last episode. I challenge you to go check the last episode and check out the point when we were talking about the 2-week chart and how I was saying that it was what was controlling this market, and these were the key levels that I gave you a week in advance. So congratulations, Alpha Fam. If you took this trade off of that neutral point of control to the volatility pivot, you killed it. If you took that trade from the volatility pivot to the hold momentum level, you killed it. Now, we are getting a little bit of a pushback here. Unless we flip this area, probably we're going to retrace this candle, maybe just get a little bit of liquidity back, and then try again. Guys, we are on the daily chart right now. These are not 2-week candles. I'm just showing it on the 2-week key levels that I did show you on the last episode. One thing that has happened is that we did reverse this inverse head and shoulders. You can see that we are in the clear from this neckline. And what had I been telling you this whole time was possible was that this could be a failed head and shoulders. It's not an inverse head and shoulders, it's a regular head and shoulders, but that we could get the inverse move potentially to the upside. So if we do hold this level, if we don't retrace this candle all the way, and if we do just hold in this area, yeah, we could go sideways for a while, but eventually I would expect that we make our way somewhere up to that $32,000 to $33,000 level that I was talking about. And of course, had we broken down underneath some key levels, right? Then potentially, we could have broken down to 22,000. Now we haven't done that yet. Are we in the free and clear? No, this thing could just fall off a cliff and do it again, right? So really, what made this thing pump was the news that Congress, and I mentioned this in the last episode, the Congress got their stuff together. They made a compromise on the debt ceiling limit. And so, of course, markets are just pumping off of that news. That's liquidity. That's money that they're going to put in the market if they raise that debt limit ceiling. And that's going to help stabilize this market from just falling off a cliff. Guys, we were talking about the alpha origin channels, and as you can see, we're still below the bloodline, but if we zoom in, you can see that we have just challenged the bloodline once again, showing the validity of this system that I made here. Pinpoint precision to the dollar accuracy on the bloodline of the alpha origin channels over here. Guys, we are just absolutely killing it from the bottom of this line right here on the origin channels to the top of my bloodline up here. So what did we do? We just basically retested the breakdown here, and if we lose this area, it's going to be a bit bearish for me. We can chop sideways, no problem, but if we lose this green line when we chop sideways, then I'm going to start feeling like we're actually just drilling a hole to the downside. If we continue to try to attack the bloodline then and flip it, then I am going to see that as a very bullish sign. Let's get rid of that origin channels. Let's go ahead and put on some fib channels. We take the fib channels into account. It does suggest that we could push up here to around $29,000 to $30,000. Let's go ahead and put on that wedge that I was showing you. And according to the wedge, look, what did we do? Same thing we did right over here, Alpha Fam. We just pushed straight up to the top of my wedge. Now, it is a pretty funky wedge, but we did push right up to it. So if you had this drawn out like I told you, like a couple weeks ago when I was pointing this thing out, we basically just retested, right? We retested this purple area down here, which was the CME gap. We filled it completely, and then we were free to just continue to push to the upside, and that's exactly what the chart did. Now we can also take a look at my channel here, and lo and behold, what have we done? Oh gee, what did I say? Bottom to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. Explored the mid-level here. I did want to see that pullback to 25.5, 26. We got it. Nice double bottom, and then to the top. Okay, so that's exactly what we've been looking for here at Alpha Commission. If we weren't going to just break down from our candle's key level, and you can say, well, didn't we break down from our candle's key level over here? It used to be up here, right? That's where the levels were. Yeah, but we had a wick here, and then we made a double bottom off of it. Okay, so I don't make the rules, okay? We basically had price action that double bottomed, and then we just had some bullishness off of that, okay? So, you've got to deal with what the market hands you. And sure, it would have been a little bit scary right here on this day. That day would have been very dicey, but that buy action, that pump off of that, and then this price action, which was a little bit higher than that, it just put us back into that zone. And then, of course, this became a little bit of a double bottom on the smaller time frames. And then we got a push off of that 2-week critical level. Again, the 2-week was in control. Alpha Fam, this channel was immensely tradable. Even a brainless chimp could have traded this channel, and so I hope that you were able to get in on that. Of course, if we had broken down from here, that would have been a much different picture. That's what I was saying. If we break down from there, we could have fallen all the way down to 23, potentially to 22. Okay, we never did. We bounced off of it, came back to the midline. What was the next stop? The top of the channel. So what do we got to do next? Okay, so either we're going to get sent back to the midline, or we're going to end up, breaking out of this thing and then potentially targeting that 29 to 30 and then 32 to 33 or whatever. Okay, guys, and potentially higher from there. This episode is getting a bit long. I don't know if I'm going to be able to upload it, but let's go ahead and throw on our daily key levels here. It is a new day after that pump, and we are just continuing to be bullish off of our hold momentum level. Sure, we can come all the way back down to the neutral point of control on the daily. No harm, no foul in that. Let me go ahead and stretch out this momentum pool, which got a little rearranged there. And you can see that we did get rejected from the bullish control zone. So once again, whether we're talking about my channel or whether we're talking about the RSI or whether we're talking about blah, 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 we need to flip this area. And what was that level that I was saying to you, Alpha Fam? I was saying 28,300. We got that. We got 28,500-ish, 28,300-ish is still within our reach as we're having a little bit of a pullback. So if we hold this area and are able to flip this next one, it got raised a little bit to 28.5, then I do expect us to just have continuation to the upside. Why can I suggest that that continuation is likely? Well, let's go ahead and go to some of our indicators here, and you can see that on the good old Bollinger Bands with percentile, we are expanding in an upward direction. I would expect that to continue off of this max low over here. We are crossing above the jewel midline quite bullishly. We are coming off of a drive, a couple drives actually, of bullish divergence. And that was confirmed on today's closing earlier this afternoon, and so this is bullish. And so, guys, I just think that there's a higher chance in the current moment for us to continue to push to the upside than for us to drop down. Now, if we do look at some of these other factors, we can see that currently the DI positive is expanding while the ADX is a little bit in a contraction mode, but pushing up as well. So if this thing decides to continue to go, and it is getting a little bit hot up here on its own RSI, but it can hang out there for a while, then we should have another drive, maybe with a little bit of a pullback or something. But it looks pretty good to me. So I'm not going to suggest anything bearish right now. Of course, this was a huge God candle, and so it can be retraced. We can come all the way back down, like I said, to the neutral point of control somewhere around 27.4-ish, but ultimately I do want to see us hold that 28.3 and strongly wish that we get to flip that 28.5 so that we can be above my bloodline, so that we can be above the bullish control zone, so that we can flip that wedge that we were talking about, so that we can, of course, break out of that channel that we've been in. And of course, I just showed you all of those things, so nothing to worry about. Guys, the daily volatility pivot is at 26,830. We're going to be in good shape above 26,830, and if we hold above $28,070, we do have a chance for a pump again to the upside. Otherwise, we're just probably going to meander around inside the alpha momentum pool. Guys, that's your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.